Well, hi guys. It's a Friday at the moment. I'm off to Greenford, sunny Greenford. Now I had a look at the Google app before I left. The A10, as per normal, is screwed. Well, I'm on the A1, obviously I'm coming from Hafford. The A1 south is also screwed. The A406, knackered. Absolutely knackered. M25, also knackered. So any which way I go today, I'm going to get stuffed. Well, such is life, such is life. So I have a choice. I can get stuffed on a tight road where everybody's squeezing in at the last minute, or I can get stuffed on a nice wide motorway. I know I'll get stuffed on a motorway. It just makes my life so much easier. And the other thing is, the M40 going down towards London, the near side right lane, is the actual M40. You know, it just goes off into the slip road into the M40. So, as long as I stay on the near side, things should start free flowing earlier for me. So, little swings and roundabouts, little wins and loses in everything, but there we go. Now, I am going to edit this together and upload it hopefully tonight if I've got the time. I know I'm going back for a second and looking at everything that's going on. I might not be able to do it tonight, but I'll be able to do it tomorrow night. Because obviously it's a Friday, traffic, volumes are higher, yada yada yada. Now, you're probably going to be thinking, well, where's Wednesday and Thursday gone? The thing is, I'm re-engineering my channel. So now there is Trucker Build Tips and Tricks, and obviously Trucker Build Vlogs. The thing is, some of you guys watch this to just watch me, to see me drive and see what I come across, and maybe you're interested in what's going on in my world, I don't know. And some of you guys watch it for knowledge. You know, what does something do, what's driver's hours, how do you put a digicard in, you know, all those kind of things, what the Susies are, all that kind of crap. So some of you have got to sit there and watch an entire vlog for what is 2 or 3 minutes of that's how you put card in. And others of you, well, you just want to see what's going on in my world, see the driving, you know, your experience, guys, you're just curious as to what the agency life is like and things like that, and what you can achieve being an agency guy, and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the channels completely. So to all of you watching, go and subscribe to Tips and Tricks, because that will be specific, no more than 5 minutes. I'll keep them really short. Literally on an auto shifter, how to put a card in, what your Susies are, how curtains work, driver's hours. I'll do a daily one and then I'll split it and do the weekly one, but I'll separate them. You know what period of availability is, all of that kind of stuff. I'm just going to remake them, because obviously all my hashtag videos now have buggered off. I put them on private in a hope that I would maintain how many views my channels had. It did not do that. I put them onto private and my channel's views have gone from just over 100,000 to 38,000. Never mind. So, if you want to see all the, you know, learning bits and bobs, what everything does, then the Tips and Tricks is for you. Think about the Tips and Tricks as informative, and think about the vlogs as you're just following me, my thoughts, my ideas, things I see day to day, and maybe, you know, like for example the driving side of thing, i.e. you get to a high street like the Cambridge thing, and you want to see how that's done. Well, obviously I can't really do that in about 2 or 3 minutes unless I break every piece of road legislation there is. So that will be included in the vlog side of things. Yes. Just making certain at the moment. So, like I said, like, subscribe and share about the old Tips and Tricks side of things, because that will be just a concentrated, this is what a shifter is, this is what the buttons here do, this is an overspeed, this is, you know, that kind of stuff. Now obviously it's going to take me a while to remake all the material. I'm going to try and do it really concisely, and I'll upload a couple every week, that kind of thing. But there'll only be so many of them before I've gone through everything I can go through as a regional agency guy. I can't exactly go through everything to do with nighting out at the best truck stops, because I don't. So there you go, that's that bit. Now, as you guys know, I'm relatively calm with things that go on around me. I don't expect four-wheelers, car drivers, to act professionally, because they're not. You know, like I've said before, they're make and go merchants at best. So I tend to just stay quite calm most of the time. I have tried in the past to point out somebody doing something silly, but whenever I've watched it back, it's always been a case of they've done something silly, I'm blathering on about whatever, then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh yeah, look at that idiot. Because it really, I'm immune to it now. So I'm actually forcefully trying to point out that they're doing something wrong, and it's just so, I don't know, it's almost false. It's contrite, it's contrived, it's just, no. But I'm quite laid back when it comes to driving. I expect people to do silly things. It's why in this situation I'm leaving a gap between me and the vehicle in front. And you might think, yeah, but that's why people pull in front of you. Trust me when I tell you this. As a truck driver, if I stayed right up behind him, somebody would stop right there, indicating and force their way in, because they're a car, I'm a truck. I am slower than they are. Doesn't matter that I could stay, you know, a gnat's whisker away from that van the entire time, because we're not exactly going quickly. They will do that. So the easiest thing to do is just hold back. Now something occurred last night when I was driving back to the yard. Now I had Norwich, I'd gone to Wellingborough, and I was going back to the yard in Hatfield. I've been held up in a few places, as you do. And I have my own personal time scale to do everything by, because obviously I live over an hour away from where I work, so I've got to add in commuting time, food time, you know, feeding time, downloading all my vlogs, editing, uploading, all that kind. I've got to add in all of this. Now obviously my job will come first, so at the end of the day, if I can't download, if I can't upload, then I just don't. You know this, there's been a few gaps. But I tried to take that into consideration, and I planned my time accordingly. So yesterday I was running short on my personal time. So I'm doing 56. Because these Actrosses, you can go to 56 miles an hour. And I'm trundling back. Now, usually things don't get to me, and to be fair, I don't give certain people the time of day after the incident's happened. I'm like, oh well, whatever, it's your life, why do I care? But certain things occur every so often that I personally think new guys should know. So before I go into this, trust me, it's not playing on my mind. Okay, I'm not really wound up by this event. It happened, oh well, boo-hoo. But new guys, you might not realise this. Well, to be fair, you don't realise this. Now, to keep this kind of nondescript, I suppose, I'm not going to say the road I'm on, I'm not going to say the company the guy was driving for or anything like that. I'm just going to keep this as bland as possible, because I just don't need the aggro of mentioning a company name or whatever, you know. I just don't care. I really don't care enough. But for you new guys, it's probably a good thing. Now, all the experienced guys, as I tell this story, every one of you will sit there and go, yeah, that does happen. You do meet Mr. So-and-so every so often. All the experienced guys know this. But you new guys don't. And it can cause accidents. Because at the end of the day, those mirrors aren't exactly perfect for judging distance. Now, as you get more experienced, you get to know whereabouts you are in relation to the vehicle behind. But when you're new, you don't have a clue. You think you're past, you pull in, you're not past, there's the accident. Now, I'm trundling down a motorway, and there is a junction onto this motorway on a hill. At the end of the junction, it crests the hill, and then it starts going down. Now there is a truck in front of me, a Class 1 boy. There is a vehicle joining the motorway I'm on. Now obviously, the vehicle that's joining is going slow. It's having to accelerate uphill on a slip road. It's a Class 2. That's as much detail as I'm going to give you. I'm not going to tell you whether it was a box, a curtain or a tanker, whatever. But it was a Class 2. Anyhow, truck in front's pulled out, overtaking. I'm obviously doing 56. He's obviously not. I've pulled out to overtake him. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that, whatever. And I'm trundling past him. Now obviously as I'm going past him, we're cresting the hill. And as you crest the hill, obviously the vehicle that's taking off is able to take off a little bit quicker. And I've got about 99% of the way past him. To be fair, at one point I'm probably past him enough to be able to pull in and give him about that much between the back end of my vehicle and his cab. But that's just disrespectful, impolite, and I like to be certain that I'm past somebody. So I get to that point and I think, well, I need the next exit. I need the next exit off of this motorway. So what I'll do is I'm virtually past him. I know he's going to be accelerating because obviously he's now crested the hill. We're now starting to go down. But I'll indicate and let him know. Now the highway code states you must give to the vehicle that's overtaking you. If you have caused a hazard on a road to cause somebody to overtake you, you are slower moving, let them overtake you, let them come back in, and then you overtake them if you are faster. Okay, you've got to give. Because at the end of the day, I'm on a motorway, I'm in the second lane of a motorway. So me slowing down is a little bit dangerous, as you can tell. Right. So I started indicating. Again, nothing wrong there, perfectly polite. I'm not trying to force my way in, I'm not trying to cut anyone up or anything like this. And you guys will be doing roughly the same kind of thing. It's a standard overtaking manoeuvre. I'm sure all the experienced guys know exactly where I'm going with this now. But you all know I'm doing nothing wrong. So I'm trundle. Nice set of legs. Anyway, I am a truck driver. So I'm trundle. And start indicating. And all of a sudden, I've noticed that this particular individual in this Class 2 has started to, well, he's just sitting alongside me. Now we're cresting the hill and starting to go downhill. Now, here we go. I thought I was going to make those. No. Now, the issue is he's been accelerating, so he's got acceleration momentum throwing him down a hill. I have been trundling along on cruise control and my overspeed and everything like that, so I don't have that kind of throw. So what's happened is he's obviously just thrown himself, you know, he's been accelerating to the crest of the hill and started going downhill, so he's still got that kind of pushing momentum, and he's just basically let it overspeed to whatever he feels like. Now there is a situation, when you start going down a hill and you're in this situation, a standard thing that experienced guys will do is we'll knock our cruise control off and let ourselves overspeed, just to get past the person and get in. We need the slip road. I mean, if he's right by my rear corner, I'm at least 53 feet away from him. You know, so I might as well overspeed up to about 60 and then pull in. It's kind of standard procedure. To be fair, it is. Well, what he's done is he's decided to just let his vehicle go. He's not even going to hold himself legally. Because obviously I'm now allowing myself to go up to 60. Well, he is catching me and going alongside me. Now I'm indicating. So not only is he failing to let me pull my manoeuvre out, not only is he going down the inside of me, undercutting me, but he's also undercutting me at the time I'm indicating to change lanes. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, really? I mean, what is your problem? And he's come alongside and he's just like that. He's not looking at me or anything, because I'm kind of like there, and he's just like driving like that, like he's all big and clever. Well, we've hit the level ground, and all of a sudden I'm marginally quicker than him. So I'm starting to regain ground, but I need the next exit. So I'm thinking, you know what, sod it. So I've knocked off my cruise control, starting to slow down. Now I'm not going to brake to do this because I'm in the second lane of a motorway. So I've knocked that off. And I started to slow down. Well, guess what? Numbnuts are starting to slow down as well. He's taken personal umbrage to the fact that I started indicating before I'd officially got all the way past him. And now he's going to teach me how to drive in his little Class 2 Tonka toy. No offence to Class 2 drivers, but at the end of the day, I'm Class 1. Anyway, I'm thinking, really? Now what's your bleeding problem, sunshine? So I've had to brake. I've had to slow down. I want the next junction. So I've pulled in behind him. Now there is one thing I will do when I am annoyed. I will not try and cut somebody up. I will not slam my brakes on. I will not, all that kind of stuff. I'll bang my mains on if it's night time. So I pulled in behind him, aimed so I can see his mirror and just gone wallop. Because I know that mirror's aimed right at his face. He's going to be disrespectful to me, fine, wallop. There you go, have some main beans. Yep. He's then slammed on his brakes. And he keeps brake checking me, and then he keeps goading me to go into the hard shoulder to have a word. What? How is anything about me trying to pull out a standard overtaking manoeuvre from a slower truck my fault? This is the issue you guys will encounter, and this is why I've told the story in as much detail as I have done. There are drivers out there who are failures at Class 1. Okay, they think they're the best drivers on the fleet. They go to do their Class 1 and they realise very quickly they're not, and they fail their test. They are complete wastes of space. And they think that every Class 1 driver around them is a foreign guy stealing a job they should have had. And they will do everything in their power to teach you how to drive, to prove how much of a good driver they are. Now, in all fairness, I really don't care. It's done, it's dealt with. It happened last night. I killed my main beams before I got to, my slip road. And just as we're about to get to the slip road, before the white line ends, bang, he brake checks me again. But fortunately this time, because I haven't just pulled in, there's enough distance. So it doesn't really work in his favour. I get into the slip lane and go trundling past him, saluting him a little bit. Now, he's tried to teach me how to drive because I was overtaking him and indicating my intention to need to move back into the left-hand lane. You will come across this. Now, experienced guys, we know exactly what's going on. We've spotted it and we're thinking, oh, it's going to be one of those, is it? What a pathetic waste of human flesh this person is. And that's what we're thinking. Because we've done nothing wrong. We've just overtaken. We have enough trouble. And the thing in trucking is we have enough issues with four-wheelers, with car drivers. We don't need it from other so-called professionals who think they're the best driver on their fleet and want to prove it to everyone. Now remember, I was overspeeding when he was going down me and I was doing 60, so he had to be beat, he had to be going quicker than that. So, but he's proving the point. And you are going to come across this as new guys. Now in those situations, the only thing you can realistically do is slow down and pull in behind them. This creates a danger. Anyway, this creates a danger. And that is, you are in the second lane or the third lane, whichever lane you're in, of a motorway, having to brake. But unfortunately, these particular individuals who are jaded at us truck drivers, maybe because they failed their Class 1, maybe because their missus ran off with a Class 1 driver, I don't know, Could be any reason. It's also another issue with road rage. Chances are, earlier in the day, this guy got cut up by a car he couldn't own. The car got away from him. And so I was the first vehicle he could catch, and he wanted to prove a point. He wanted to redress the balance. Whatever. But you guys need to understand people like this exist, and they will cause you issues. So the only thing you can do is just slow down, pull in behind, let them have their little bit of fun. They've got a pathetic life, they need something to entertain them, and then carry on. But please, forget about it. Once it's done, once it's dealt with, once you're going your way, they're going their way, forget about it. Okay, there is a temptation when they indicate let's pull into the hard shoulder and have a chat, that you're going to want to pull into the hard shoulder and have a chat. But as soon as you land one on their face, they are trolling you, they are going to prosecute you. Okay? So it's absolutely pointless. Chances are, as soon as you do something like that along the side of the motorway, you're going to lose your job. So the simplest thing to do is just allow it to happen, allow whatever's going to occur, let them have their little bit of fun. If you can go past them or down a slip road or whatever, give them a salute if you feel like it. But then just forget about it. Otherwise it will play on your mind continuously. I'm only telling this story so as you guys understand this does happen. You know, all the experienced guys will be like, yeah, that's happened to us before, yeah, they're all just a waste of space. But the thing is, if you let it play on your mind, it's going to continue to play on your mind. You're going to remember the company and the vehicle, well, the style of vehicle that did it to you. And the following day, you're going to be out with this playing on your mind. You're going to be in a bad mood. You're already going to start your day with road rage. And then you may come across a similar vehicle from the same company. And you may, you know, see the person driving and think, that looks remarkably similar to the person I saw last night. Or the day before at some point. And then you're going to go out your way to make their life a misery because you want to own them. Chances are it's somebody else. And you've just gone and affected a perfectly innocent person for no apparent reason. So when this happens, let it go. Okie dokie, just let it go. Because at the end of the day, life is too short. I mean, I get annoyed when a boiler goes bang, or somebody hits my car, or, you know, the important things. That's when I get angry. What happens on the road? That's a muppet. And I don't mean that van driver, sorry, that was bad timing. But that's a muppet. That's a muppet. Done. Dealt with. They're among beans. There's millions among beans. You're not going to teach them how to drive. So, you know, you're going to come across the jaded HGV guy who may have got his Class 1 but can't get a job driving Class 1 because he has lack of experience and his attitude sucks. And he's going to take it out on all the other Class 1 drivers around him because, well, they're obviously foreign, aren't they? They're obviously Polish, stealing a job from me. Oh, boo-hoo! So just allow it to happen, okay? And then just... Now, I've told that story for the new guys. Run with it, take experience from it, ignore it, whatever. But I did think about telling this story. And I wasn't going to. But new guys aren't going to know this. And all of a sudden, because you're not going to have the judgment in your mirrors that we have. And when this happens, yeah, there might be a point where you are just past them. And you think, oh, I'll pull it, whatever, you know, he's just sitting there. No, he's not just sitting there. He's trying to speed up. He's killed his cruise control to allow his overspeed to take him faster. You're going to pull in to a vehicle that is going quicker than you. That's why I've told this story, to try and avoid those kind of accidents. Usually, when there's no other road user involved and it's an accident between two trucks, something like that has occurred. So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with my day. I know I'm about to hit some nice traffic, and I shall see you a bit later on. Now, I'm supposed to be going back from Second to Northampton. Depending on how much I get held up, depends on whether I miss the time slot. I hope I don't, because Northampton's nice and easy. But anyway, I shall see you a bit later on in my day. I hope you can take some experience from that story, and all you experienced guys, you knew what I was going to say. You knew this instant, because it's happened to you before, I guarantee it. Anyway, I shall catch you later. Well, here we go, leaving the faulty on towards Greenford. Now, a little bit more on lane discipline. As you can see, this is quite thin. Now, to go to Greenford at the traffic lights, I've got to go left. So where have I put myself? How annoying am I to the cars behind me? How much more annoying would I be if I let a car alongside me and crushed it? See? There we go. I am not arguing with anybody. In actual fact, just turn that down a bit because I've realised I've got my aircon giving it the beans. In actual fact, I'm doing exactly what London buses do. Have you ever been stuck behind a London bus? What does it do in this situation? Wallop straight in the middle. Now, London buses, they drive around London all the time. They know exactly where to put themselves. But there you go, bit of lane discipline for you. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Now, when I get round here, it's initially 2 lanes. Bit of local knowledge. This is a 4127 towards Greenford. Okay? Stay in the middle. That's a bit unfair, isn't it? No. Because it all goes into one lane. You hold people up at a junction. Soon as they can get past you, they're going to get past you because you've angered them. How dare you hold them up? Do you not know who they are? You know, so you've got to be careful. It's like somebody down there. He wanted to use a parking base just then. And I don't mean for parking, which is why you saw me slightly move. He was actually trying to go down the parking base. Little C1 thing. Seriously, they do it. They really do. Now here we've got a junction. Now you can do this in your lane. However, what happens if you've got a rear steer? Ooh. And look, there's roadworks. Now how far into that junction are those roadworks? Well, I don't know, do I? I can't really tell. I mean, they're not in the junction from where I'm sitting, but how do I know they're not round the corner? Because they might only be doing the traffic lights, which it looks as if they're just doing the crossings. But how do I know they haven't done something just round the corner? I don't know, do I? I can't tell you. And if I've got rear steer, the rear of my trailer is going to go, look, like that when I go around the corner. So do I want to stay in my lane? I can do it in my lane, but do I want to stay in my lane? No. So again, command everything, command the junction. Nice and wide, nice and easy. Who did I just crush? Anybody? No one. There you go, you see? It works, doesn't it? Anyway. This is about as fun as this job gets when you go to Greenford. Always be careful around this particular area because this is a major industrial estate. There's a lot of things that go on down this industrial estate. There's a number of bus stops, as you saw. Be careful because people will just walk out. They won't care. Now again, with this, people will just cross the road. They will not care. So keep looking. This is one of the reasons I detest driving around the London area, because it hurts your neck. Oh, it hurts your neck every time you get somewhere. It just really hurts your neck. But anyway, I shall end this segment now because I don't want to give away the company I'm working for obvious reasons, or the other company that I work for because they have a depot just down here as well. So I shall see you in a while. Well, let's see how I get out of this place. Now, I've held myself back relatively well. Obviously there's a motorbike down in the bottom left I've got to pay attention to. Well, a scooter of some description. Anyway, indication now. I had a look at Google Maps before I left, and supposedly there's a couple of minor slow down parts on the A40, but everything else is free flowing, so I should be back in relatively good time. Oh, and then sunshine. Here we go. Loads of Roomba, loads of Roomba. There we go. So hopefully everything will be okie dokie. But I thought I'd show this part because I'm sure I've shown this before, but obviously those vlogs are no longer available, so I'll show it again for anybody who hasn't seen it. Now I'm going to be turning right onto the A40, and these lanes do get a little bit tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bung myself in the middle one. Oh, look at that. Right, because I've had to stop, I'm going to put myself right in between these two lanes. Oh, somebody didn't heed to a policeman and he got annoyed. Yeah, I'm going to put myself in these two lanes and wait, basically. That way, only motorbikes, like this chap down here, can get in front of me with his little crash cam on. So as he can record and look really cool on YouTube, sliding to his demise. Always be aware that bikes will put themselves in the gaps, so they're quicker, they're way quicker at taking off than you are, so it's not going to cause you major issues, but do pay attention, do realise that they are there, and then watch people going down the near side, because I'm taking up both lanes here, and people will go down the near side trying to be clever. They will definitely try and do that. So you've got to watch, but you've got to watch on both sides, like the transit down here. Now this gets somewhat tight, so I've got to go back out here, and Mr. Transit's too impatient to wait. So I have to, in that situation, given the swing of my trailer, I have to take up both lanes. Now you might say, well, why are you taking up both lanes on the slip road? Because I know what this road's like to join, and I don't want to have to be arguing with people in my slip lane as well as people on this road, like another transit. But I do have to give way because I'm joining the road, so he's perfectly fine. Just a little bit, that kind of manoeuvre just there is a little bit like closing the barn door after the horse has bolted. Okay, he's moved over, which is very nice, thank you kindly. But you know, I've already stopped, he's already gone past me. So there we go, such is life. Now I believe a bit further on down here this lane becomes a slip lane and I'm going to need to be in that lane. So all I really want to do, now it's a 50-mile-an-hour limit, I'm doing 39 miles an hour. If anybody says, oh you're undercutting everybody, I'm doing 39 miles an hour in a 50. Now I'm going to speed up. Right, taxi. Holding everybody up just perfect. Look at that, lovely jubbly. That's the other thing you've got to try and do. You've got to try and figure out where your gap is going to be. Now, of course, the van and the Fiesta that I went down the near side of, they're not going to let me out. The taxi, now most London cabbies are actually really good drivers. Are actually most London cabbies. I'm not saying every one of them. Most London cabbies are actually very professional. And they see the truck, they know what the truck's most likely to do. I mean, they've got tons. A black cabbie has got tons of experience in London. He has seen trucks in virtually every street in London that trucks are allowed down. So he has a kind of experienced sense, a sixth sense as to what trucks are going to do. And usually, majoritively speaking, on roads like this where one lane's going into a slip lane, he knows the truck that he sees that side, with cars stopping the truck from getting out, probably wants to be in his lane. So what he tends to do, and what they do tend to do, and most of them tend to do, so this is a thank you from me to you guys, they tend to just hold back. So as you go past them, like he was doing 40 and a 50, I was doing 39 if you remember, and I was matching him. And of course you can get past, loads of room, everybody's happy, and the thing is, after I did that, he waited a while, then he pulled in because he wanted the slip lane. You see, so cabbies you can actually work with from a driving perspective because they are predominantly very good drivers. So that's a little shout out to black cabs around London. Predominantly, the London cabs, the black cabs, are very good drivers. I don't know from a push biker's perspective, but from a HGV perspective, you can really work with them. They really do take you into account more often than not. So there we go. But anyway, I thought I'd show that roundabout back there, just as you saw, stick in the 2 lanes, but be very careful because those 2 lanes suddenly become 3 lanes and you can't take up all 3 lanes. So now you've got to kind of put yourself where's best for you. And to be fair, I'd rather worry about people that side than people that side, but I can't swing wide enough without taking the car that's going down the near side. I think it was a green Jag in that example, who'd cut into that lane, so I couldn't go fully into that lane without taking the Jag out. So it was a kind of, I'm stuck, so I just had to be careful. But to be fair, Greenford is not exactly the hardest place to get to in a truck. It's pretty simple. I mean, there are a lot worse places. But there we go. I shall crack on back to base. Hopefully it'll be free flowing, and then I shall figure out what I've got next. So I shall see you in a while. Most likely when I'm on my break at base, I'll see if I can park up so there's nothing visible. Well, no, company logos visible. And let you know whether I do have Northampton or whether they've changed it. Most likely I'm going to have Northampton, which is going to irritate me somewhat slightly. Not because Northampton's crap, it's not. But the Northampton has a pickup from the supplier. I nearly said the supplier then. Has a pickup from the supplier on the way back. The issue with that is I'm working tomorrow. And if I have to go into the pickup, what's going on here? If I have to go into the pickup, I'm going to be pushed for time. Which means there is a strong possibility, what's cracking on here? It means there's a strong possibility that, just making certain of things, there's a strong possibility that it will be another filler vlog tonight and this one will be uploaded Saturday, because like I said, Wednesday and Thursday I'm not going to bother with. I am running too far behind for my personal like. So I shall most likely, if I've got time, I'll edit this and upload it tonight. But if I do have what I think I've got, and there is a strong possibility I do have the Northampton onto a collection, then it will be a filler vlog. We shall see. Anyway, I shall see you back at base. Well, I know I said I'd see you back at base, but it looks as if we're coming up to a vehicle fire on the M25, and I thought you might want to see this. So I can see the smoke, I can see the blues, twos, and the fire engine, and the fire engine just went whoops past me. And I don't mean the smoke coming out the back of BMW. That road was closed when I first joined the M25, there was nothing on it, and things have slowly started trickling through. Now obviously you're only going to get to see what that camera sees, because I'm not going to move the camera whilst I'm driving, I'm not that stupid. But there looks as if there has been a vehicle fire. Now I did pass a couple of broken down cars on the way down. I wonder if it was one of those. Though looking at that car, it looks as if it spun round. No, everyone got clear of it. Oh, it's not one of those Zafira fires, is it? Oh no, it's a VW camper. Oh no, it's a classic VW camper that's gone up. Oh, what a shame. Oh, look at that. VW camper. Don't know how much of that you'll see, but I'm not going to turn my camera so as you can see it clearly, but 60s VW camper's gone. Oh well. Let's crack on, I suppose. There's still a fire underneath it. There you go. I thought you might be interested to have a shifty. Alright, get back up to speed. Come on, you old cat. There's nobody there. Lovely dabbly. Right then. Now this time I will see you when I get back to base. Well, I hope you liked that last little bit of sped up footage. The old 414 during the beginning of the rush hour. Thought I'd shove that in there, you know, let you see it, because I am down for what I thought I was down for. Northampton and then a collection in Northampton. So, yes, I'm going to be pushed because I'm on my break now. Yes, there we go. So I'm going to be pushed, so I'm going to be ending my day now whilst I'm here. And just make life a bit easier. Like I said, chances are tonight I will have uploaded another filler, which would have been the game at Perfect Garage. So hope you had fun with that. And I shall see you in the next one. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share about, do whatever it is you usually do. And like I said, if you want to watch like what things are and what things do and all this kind of stuff, then it's going to be tips and tricks from now on. So it's going to be my other channel, my secondary channel. So yes, take care, and I shall see you in the next one.